Okay, so this film was reasonable, sorry. Um, so I can see why people don't really like this version more than the other versions that came out afterwards and beforewards. Um, so yeah, so I watched today was Lion the Witch and Wardrobe from 1970 something, the cartoon version that nobody knows about really. I imagine so. And I will change the background to this. I just haven't got around to do it yet, so I'm so sorry about that. I'm not into the Minions that much. I just was into Minions years ago, and I just got this for some weird reason. So I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, so I watched it today, for like 2 or 3 hours. It's an hour-long film or something like that, hour and 50 or 40 or 30 minutes, and it looks like I watched it for like more than an hour, but never mind. So there's different sort of changes in this version. Not that noticeable changes, but slightly whatever changes. So I don't really mind it. If that makes sense. So when I watch films like this, I feel like it reminds me of other versions of films and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to tell you why because I haven't reviewed the other films that I think I'm thinking of. If that makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is there's this Alice in Wonderland film that I watched once. I don't know when I watched it or how I watched it, but I watched it, and it reminded me of this. So the cartoon effects and the story, the quality, and the aesthetic and stuff like that reminds me of a random Alice in Wonderland film. Came out in 1980 something. So I don't know at the end of the day what this film might be for NarniaVember. It goes down in the quality of like, okay, whatever, it's just a random film. Who gives a flip? And so I don't care. I feel like this film is reasonably okay. The cartoon was alright. And for me, I feel like it's more dodgy with Mr. Thomas and Jade as the White Witch or something like that. You can tell that they are more mean to be dodgy and stuff like that. It was dodgy the first time. It wasn't that dodgy when I first watched the other adaptations. I thought they were fine, you know what I mean? But this made it more scarier when you think about it. Probably because when you're growing up, you can see the details and stuff like that. But when you're that size, you haven't got a clue what's going on, but you just like watching it. That's what I think personally. So, yeah, I got nothing to say with that. So when I watched the other adaptations, I thought, well, I haven't seen all of the 1960s ITV program because it's lost media, so I can't really watch it, can I? So, but when I watched this, when I watched this compared to the 80s, 90s, and 2000s Narnia, this is alright. This is like it's the cartoon effects are not superb and it's not bad either. So it's got that sort of charm to it. But I imagine that some people hate it because of the fact, or not hate, but dislike it because it's not superb at the same time. So, but the 2000s ones are superb, but they're rushed. Here, they're rushed, but in a charm way. In the film, they're rushed in a superb effect way, but in this, no. So, that's what I think personally with that. And with the acting, or not the acting, the voiceovers was pretty good to be honest. Apart from Aslan, So when I watched or listened, I'm not sure if I said this before, but when I listened to an audiobook of Aslan, it doesn't sound anything like the BBC run from. It didn't sound anything like the BBC one from 1980 something. So that's quite worrying. And this has nothing to do with the audiobook. I'm just saying that this Narnia Aslan character does not sound anything like what I think it's supposed to sound like. It sounds like the professor guy if he's trying to do another voice actor or voice character. You know what I mean? So, if that makes sense. So, sorry about if it wasn't clear enough for me, for you, or whatever. It's just I got a really bad quality. I really got bad sour stuff in my mouth, and it's really irritating me. I know you don't need to know that, but I'm just saying if I sound a little bit off, I'm so sorry about that. It's when sometimes you have medication and you have those sort of weird foods and you have that sort of aftertaste in your mouth, it really annoys you. That's what I got. So I'm so sorry if I can't speak clearly. Nothing to do with your usual typical Craig DBS can't speak clearly guy. I'm just saying it's a thing that I can't get used to anymore with stuff like that. Anyway, so this film was fun. I watched the whole entire thing. I watched a little bit at the end because I know what was going to happen and stuff like that, so it's nothing new. So the story is nothing new. I think they just changed the stuff like the swords, the weapons, the gear of Lucy and Edmund and stuff like that. Or Peter, sorry. So they changed that. That isn't. They mentioned Santa, but there wasn't any Santa in it. So I don't know why they didn't put Santa in it. Maybe it's just because I can tell this is not a British thing. This is more like a UK American thing or stuff like that. So American thing, sorry, or some kind of Canadian thing. So it's not really technically. I don't know. So maybe they didn't believe in Santa, the producers or directors, so that's why they didn't put it in. But they mentioned it anyway, just because of the feel of C.S. Lewis, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, that's my guess. So, yeah, that's it with that. I feel like when I watch films recently, I feel like I'm not bothered to watch it, even though I have to watch it. That's what I felt like with this one. I just feel like I'm not bothered to watch it, but I'm going to watch it anyway. So, that's that. So, when sometimes you watch a film, you feel like, I'm not bothered watching it. That's the same with this. I feel like I was not bothered watching it, but I had to watch it for NarniaVember. So that's what I got with watching films. I feel like I need to watch it just because. So yeah, when I watched films like this, I feel like I'm not interested in it, even though I'm supposed to be. And probably because it's either for kids or I'm not in the mood or stuff like that. And I liked it. I really did like it, but at the same time I felt I don't want to. So that's it. I liked this film. I didn't love it like the other ones, but to be fair, the 2000s and 2010s and stuff like that, Narnia films are not that good. They're good with the special effects, with the acting and stuff like that. They're good with everything, but the vibe is not really good because the story is like they change stuff in the films, and I don't really like it when that. I like it when it's faithful to the book. And what this was faithful to the book, but at the same time they were rushed with I don't know, let's say deadline, or they got missed something else in the film or something like that, so they rushed it a little bit and stuff like that. If that makes sense. So that's my guess why they rushed it. But in the films, they rushed it because they're supposed to make it all exciting, and that's why they rushed it a little bit in the films. But in the films, at the same time, you don't see that really, if that makes sense. But I saw it when I first watched it as a kid. Not with this film. This film is good, but not superb good. You know what I mean? So this is like quality or whitish, and the film don't mind the watch. If you want to know what not the best Narnia thing to watch, I recommend watching the 1980s 90s BBC production in 19. Well, I would tell you the date, didn't I? But you know what I mean, in the era of Blue Peter and stuff like that. Not Blue Peter, but like they're mentioning Blue Peter, so I guess it's probably to do with Blue Peter because it's educational thing. I don't know, but I recommend watching that than watching the 2000s. If you're into good special effects, watch the 2000s ones as you please. But if you're into the charm of Narnia, watch the BBC production from 1980 something. You know what I mean? They say they're gonna do a Silver Chair production in 2020 something, but that's not gonna happen, I don't think. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Please, I don't know, take care of yourself. I'll see you next time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Don't know why my screen's going dark, but that's just tough, isn't it? Yeah, I got nothing. Thank you much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. And please subscribe if you can.